I'm back. I just got off the phone with my friend Tony, and the camper's definitely warmed up. And I was going to go over because I still got some money left from winning with my free play the other day, but I was going to go top off the diesel, but Tony said he doesn't work till 2. So he said, do it later. So I said, all right. So right now, I am going to head to the library. All right, well, I'm going to go out this back way. Can I go out this back way? Yeah. Brookins. Here we go. I go right out to Brookins. I really, Lord, please, Lord, guide me to a job or something that's going to hire me. Either that or send me a walloping of cash flow so I can catch up on bills and not have to worry where my next dollar is coming from and start helping more people and stuff. That would really be wonderful. That makes that way I could just still keep focusing on making videos and sharing my faith, sharing me. I like me. I'm a pretty good guy. Oh, I forgot anybody behind me? No. Stop right when I got somebody coming to me. Oh, come on now. Library out here. There's the airport. There's the library. That's the library. There it is right there. Yep. Come on. Alright, I got that programmed in there.
At the light, turn left onto West Broadway Avenue. In a quarter mile, at the traffic circle, take the first exit onto Forest Boulevard North, Lake Street South.
I'm working on it. My mirror got moved. That means that probably somebody parked next to me must have walked in between us and bumped my mirror. Because it's never out that far. Ooh, good song. Oh, that's a good song too. It's a different one than I was thinking. It's a nice sunny day. My solar panels will be liking that. I like when we have some clear skies and some sun. That's giving me power and charging up my batteries. See that place there that we're just going by there? I applied there for maintenance there too. And this place here. Away we go, rolling along here. I'll just keep my eye out. That building's empty. It's a bank building. I don't know what it costs to fix that up. Now I got a serious dreaming problem. It's a good thing though, I guess. Like I said, I ain't got no job, no money, nothing. I see a building for lease, and I'm like, ooh, what kind of business could I turn that into? You know? Probably a good thing, but I'm glad I'm a dreamer. I'm an optimist, that's for sure. I think that's what I am, an optimist. I'm not a pessimist, that's for sure. Definitely not a pessimist. got that off right now because I can't afford the propane. Because my propane was getting low, I don't want to run my fridge and then have stuff in there and then it runs out of propane and then my stuff goes bad. So I was smart and just used up my stuff in my fridge so I could just shut it off and save propane for just cooking and making hot cocoa and cooking and stuff. And which cuts down my propane cost usage. And the refrigerator right now, I just use it for like, putting bottled water or pop or whatever else in, because that can stay at room temperature or whatever. Still stays colder in there, So it's kind of like having a little cooler without ice. Because if it gets cold in there, well then, when the heat's running in here with the door shut, it keeps it cool in the fridge. Not cool enough to where I'd, put perishable stuff in there, but I wish that was a 12 volt fridge, but it's just propane or electric. If it was 12 volt, I'd run it all non-stop with my solar system. And I've looked into a nice 12 volt fridge, the 3-way fridge that'll do 12 volt, 120 and propane, but
in 600 feet at the traffic circle, take the second exit onto Forest Boulevard.
but they are not cheap. We're looking at almost $1,000. So nothing I'm gonna get anytime soon unless I have some great blessings and miracles from the Lord.
Exit the traffic circle.
Which could
on
happen.
Forest Boulevard North, then continue straight to stay on Forest Boulevard North.
God can make anything happen. And, I say reap what you sow. And I have been sowing some really good seeds all my life. I've been
Continue straight to stay
not just
on Forest Boulevard
be a
North.
braggart, but I've been really good to people and done my best to always be good and do what's right and always help people. And, I ain't been 100%, I made my mistakes too, and young and partied and all that kind of stuff. But for all the wonderful sowing I've done, and I've got a lot of people that would attest to the same thing. And that remind me of it when I talk to them every now and then, people that I've known for years. It's nice because they'll remind me how great I am in their eyes, I appreciate that. It makes me feel good. It makes me know I've made good impact in their life to where, they're expressing it to me all these years later still, So, if I go by that, when I'm not getting any younger, maybe the really good stuff, the harvest is about to come.
Take your next right.
I'm sure ready for it, I tell you. I'm very ready for it. I ain't getting any younger, and I'd like to be able to ease up on the struggle pedal and do a little bit of coasting. And I still want to be who I am. I'm still keep helping people and all that good stuff. I'm gonna do that no matter what. I just can do it better or help them more in different ways. Right now, I'm kind of limited to how I can help certain people. And there's people I can't really help because they would like to come spend time with them to help them or talk to them or whatever. Or I can't afford the fuel to be running to all these people. Now, if I had
Turn left onto Forest Road
my
North.
income stuff going, I would be stopping and visiting people and rotating through them all. I did that while I was working at the foundry when I had enough time off. But some people I couldn't travel to because of how far away everything was. But then, like my friend, I really felt it was important for her to get to spend time with her dad as much as she can. And I wish she could spend more time with him, but he lives about a 4-hour drive away in Iowa. And I ran down there probably, maybe a half a dozen times or so, to bring her down there to handicap grab bars and stuff in his shower and bathroom for him, so he can get in and out of the tub and have something to hang on to keep his stability. I wish you'd be able to get down there to see him more,
Turn
but
left, then you'll take your first left into the parking lot.
unfortunately, the people she chooses to hang around are not the greatest people. They don't really have her best interest in mind, but them are her decisions.
Turn left into the parking lot, then you will arrive at your destination.
I am arriving at my destination. Oh, and that's the other thing I didn't say is that when I was checking out of the hotel,
You have arrived.
because I like joking around with everybody, and I like having fun and making people smile. The lady at the hotel says to me that, what room are you in? Well, because I was checking out, I was like, well, I don't have a room no more. Like I was a sad kid or something. And she says, well, your stay has been extended. You can stay another day. And I was like, really? She's like, yeah. I said, woohoo! And she said, and I said, that's awesome. I said, I was all in a hurry. I was tired. I wanted to sleep longer, but I was all in a hurry to get out of here because I'm going to slow you guys down. And she says, well, you don't have to go. You can stay another night. She said, so, she said, is all your stuff in the room? I said, no, I already loaded up in the camper. I said, but that's okay. I'll bring it back. So, and then I said, but I said, I'm going to go to the store first, because I knew I was going to have to run to the store and stuff, which I haven't done yet. But then I thought, well, first I should run down here to the library so I can check my mail. And shut this fan off. There we go. I got that fan going when I'm driving because that heat that I had up here, it blows it into the back more, circulates it quicker. Oh, come on now. It is a mission that is possible. We gotta hear the whistle part. Oh yeah, we're gonna do this. Anyway, sorry about that interruption there. It said scam likely. Have you ever had one of those calls? It says scam likely. And does it ever feel like if you're really busy and you get one of those and it says scam likely, does it feel like they're trying to waste your time? That's how it feels for me sometimes. Most of the time I'm just like, scam call, But I'm pretty old school. I'm come from the old days of the rotary phones. And for all you young people that don't know what a rotary phone is, well, you pick it up, hold it to your ear and your mouth, and then you dial like this. And then when there were older rotary phones, that little rotating, the rotary would get gummed up and it would start going slower. And those were frustrating phones, especially if you misdialed, because then you had to hang up and start all over. Yep, the old rotary phones. I know I'm not old enough for the old crank and to the operator. Yeah, Bensonhurst 319, please. I went that old. But I watched a lot of old black and whites I liked that had those phones on them. I used to always think them really neat phones. And if I am stating it correctly, that crank was a little generator. And where the operators would be, where all the lines would come in from each phone throughout the town as they were laying lines, you'd have a bell and a light that would have your number, which was like a 3-digit number, I do believe. It might have just been a 1-digit number in the beginning. I don't know. I'll have to look that up and see how they started, if they started with 3 digits. But I do believe they were like a location and 3 numbers, like Bensonhurst 317 or something like that, And I don't know what I'll have to check it out. And then when you'd crank that little generator would send the electricity down your line. And where the operator is, it might light up a little light and it'd go ring, ring, and then they'd know. And they'd take the thicker headphone jacks, they'd pull it out and plug it into your line. And there's actually I do believe there's at least 2 of those headphone jacks on each line. So then what they could do is they could plug in to talk to you and be like, hello, this is the operator. And then, And then I might say, yes, can you connect me to Bensonhurst 218 or whatever? And they'd say, just a moment, please. And they'd have these long cords, and they could plug one in to the headphone jack on your line, and then they'd go over to the other line, that the person you're going to call, and they'd put it through. And then, I don't know, then they must be able to, maybe they had a crank too from their headphones, or that now that the line's connected, they could then plug in their crank line maybe, and then crank it, and that would ring that line at that house. I bet you that's how they did it. You know, and then some person would pick up, maybe, yes, I have a call for you here, blah, blah, blah. You all have a great day, you know, and then they could pull their plug and you two would be connected. And then that was like an open line. So if your lines were connected and left that way, well, anytime you picked up, your phones would be right connected already. So then they used to have what was called a party line. So you could have a private line and pay a few more dollars a month when I was a kid. I didn't pay it because my mom did, because I was just a little kid. But because we were poor and on food stamps, we didn't have the private line. We had the party line. It was cheaper. So then what would happen is you could go to use the phone, and they'd have so many people all on one line or that. So if somebody was using it, you'd pick up that phone, and they might already be talking to somebody. You know, so somebody else at one house was talking to somebody else at some other house. And you'd pick it up and be like, oh, sorry. You know, and you'd hang up. Well, then you'd wait a while, be courteous, and check later. And then if you had a dial tone, and then you were open to go, and then you could call through. But with the party line, everybody could pick up, and you could just all start. You could call somebody and then tell more people to get on or whatever, especially if you knew who was all on your party line. And they'd call it a party line, because then you could all like have a phone party, and everybody could be picking up their phones, and you could all be talking to each other at the same time, and then to get kind of crazy sometimes. And that's some history about a telephone party line that were landlines. They weren't cell phones. It all had wires running from one place to the next. Don't get me talking about 8-track tapes again. My one sister, she's passed on now too. She used to have a Victrola collection, and they were very cool. That's the old record players that had the big like cone speaker, and you'd crank it up to wind up the spring, and then put the needle on the record, and then you'd hear the crackling, popping, and the old music. Pretty cool. Some of them things were pretty fancy. Some of them didn't have the big cone speaker. Some of them the speaker was internal below, and it had like wood vents that you'd open up, like the vents in your dashboard in your vehicle, only they were bigger, and you'd open them up, and that's where the sound would come out. So you'd lift the top and crank it up, put your record in there, and put the needle on it, and then that needle would go down to that lower speaker that would come out of the actual wooden structure. So it was like a piece of furniture then, you know? Yeah, they were all like pieces of furniture. Pretty neat stuff. A lot of cool technology through the years. Well, thanks for watching. God bless you. Hope you enjoyed this one, and we'll see you on the next one.